morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us as we take a look at the weekend forecast, March 10th through the 12th. And we will briefly touch on our system, which is approaching for early next week, which looks high impact at the moment. We'll have a lot more on that in a couple of days to come. But first of all, we do have, here was a storm that at one point looked like it might be a significant system. When I gave you your work week forecast, it has fizzled and mostly is going to sink to our south, although lately the models have moved it a little bit closer to us. I think it's going to be enough that we will see a dusting of snow to an inch or two in some of the higher elevations overnight. I'll have a map for you that shows you where I think exactly could get some accumulating snow, but most of this is being strung out to our south. You can see we have what's left of a kind of disconnected cutoff, a low, upper level low system here over the Great Lakes. And it is being kind of transferring its energy, and also we're getting redevelopment along this southern jet stream off the coast, and that's going to sneak out to sea. Again, the reason the pattern is kind of like this, and the reason this isn't riding up the coast, which is the original thought that it might do, is that there is still way out to sea. There is a big cutoff low, big, very blocky pattern, which is not allowing the system to head in our direction. That, however, looks like it is definitely going to retreat for the next system that comes after this one, which will have lots of energy, and it will move. It's going to be a slow mover, though, and so, yeah, anyways, there's a chance for a very significant snowstorm early next week. Is kind of the main headline there. In terms of radar, here you go. You can see there is a decent amount of light snow with some rain certainly mixed in here in central Pennsylvania. This will head in our direction. Whatever falls will fall in the form of snow. It'll be light overnight, but definitely give us a chance for some accumulating snow, I think, out of this. Again, not significantly accumulating, but a little bit of accumulating snow as this heads in our direction. Bigger picture over the rest of the country, you can see it's a pretty big system size-wise, and as it kind of sinks out to sea, it will shrink and kind of redevelop, but it doesn't redevelop and strengthen. Which is part of the reason why we can get the second storm, because this isn't going to tap a lot of the atmospheric moisture or atmospheric energy that's there. Usually when you get this system where there's a couple of storms right in a row, both of them cannot blow up, because what will happen is one of them ends up tapping the energy, the potential energy that's there in the atmosphere well, and one of them does not. In this case, this system is not going to tap that energy well. It'll be the second system, it looks like, that's going to do that. You can see there is still some cold air, not midwinter cold, but still relatively cold in northern Canada. That certainly is going to be the kind of air that gives us a chance to tap for later in the weekend. It's also what's keeping our temperatures seasonable. We are getting above freezing for most of the days here. Sun angle is getting pretty high. Remember, we do move those clocks forward this Sunday, so that means that we are going to be into some. That means that we'll be into sunsets at around 7 p.m. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But in terms of which is keeping our temperatures very close to average right now. Next week, if anything, looks a little chillier than it's been this week, but that's again for kind of another day. First of all, snowfall totals. This is kind of up the spine of the Green Mountains. Is where we're going to get the chance of 1 to 2 inches. I think everybody else gets the chance of a coating to an inch. The further north you get, the less chance that you are going to get this accumulating snow. That gets you a little further away. But I think at this point, everybody probably sees a light dusting. Maybe it's a bit ambitious where I'm up at the very top of my map here. But certainly, I think in Rutland and in Bennington and Windham counties in the greens, an inch or two is definitely likely, which means it could be a little slick tomorrow morning if you're heading out relatively early. This should come to an end by around between 6 and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Certainly, most of the flurries even will come to an end by then. Okay, in terms of temperatures, again, just kind of set the stage. Colder air in Canada, no 20, 30, 40 below zero temperatures for the most part, but well below zero averages, which is going to set the stage for when we tap that and combine it with some of the warm air down here. We do get that big temperature contrast. That's what drives strong storms in March. March is a very common time to get very strong storms because you have this huge temperature gradient, and so you get this opportunity wherever there's a big temperature gradient, you get the opportunity for a lot of potential energy, which means that you can get some storm formation, which is what's going to happen next week. If we take a quick look at this is the vorticity, which is just a measurement of kind of energy in the atmosphere for the most part, or actually it's lift, but the lift equals energy in the atmosphere. And you can see we've got kind of a zonal flow across the United States here, but with lots of pockets of energy, shortwave, what we call shortwave energy, these little ripples in the pattern. So here's our shortwave that's driving our system now. Here's our shortwave coming in that will eventually drive the system coming next week, as well as some energy from the south here. If you've heard anything about what's going on out west, once again, in California, the high elevations, well, lots of the states getting lots of rain, and the high elevations are getting feet of snow. Some predictions over the next week of another 10 to 15 feet of snow in some places in California. Just unbelievable. But some of that moisture is going to help make its way all the way. Some Pacific moisture will certainly tap a lot of Gulf moisture as we develop our system along the coast. And this will be a coastal system, not a redeveloper, but mostly a coastal system. There'll be a little bit of a piece of the upper level energy that's off to the west, but the surface load is basically going to develop off the coast and then come up the coast at us. A different kind of storm than we've had all winter, a real classic nor'easter kind of storm. This one has all the ingredients that you would expect. Just to give you a kind of an idea, this is Tuesday afternoon, what we're looking at. Like where exactly the low ends up, one of the, there's basically, this is the kind of the consensus of position. There's a couple of tracks that take it a little further east of here, a couple of tracks that take it a little further west. If it goes a little further east, it really doesn't matter that much. All of them, though, give us lots of snow. And when I say lots of snow, we're talking more than plowable kinds of snow. We're talking potentially foot plus kinds of snow. Now, it's way too early to say that for certain, but definitely that's the kind of snow we're talking about out of this system. And we're talking about a long duration event that could start could be snowing later on Monday afternoon and snow all the way through Tuesday evening is definitely a chance. And we could have some very heavy snow at times during that period unless things change pretty dramatically. So a couple of wrinkles that could be thrown in this. If it does end up a little bit further west than that of this, we'll have to worry about mixing, although right now none of the models mix us at all in southern Vermont, but that's definitely not entirely out of the question. And it could still sneak a little east of us and wrap up and be a smaller system than potentially anticipated, in which case we might kind of be a little bit on the lighter kind of fringes of the system. But right now, we look to be kind of jackpotted here, or at least in the potential jackpot areas in southern Vermont. And if that happens, a foot is kind of the minimum amount of snow we would see out of this thing. So anyways, just kind of give you a heads up because it is going to be a high impact event. Okay, Saturday to this afternoon, increasing clouds, temperatures in the mid-30s. All right, that light snow that adds up to an inch or two in some spots, temperatures in the mid-20s. Tomorrow, the clouds were cloudy in the morning, but as the system departs, we increase the sun, 34, mid-30s again. Overnight, we clear out. We do get down into the lower 20s. Sunday, we start to increase the clouds as the approach of our next system, temperatures in the upper 30s. And then overnight, we're probably mostly cloudy and temperatures in the mid-20s as we set the stage for our system on Monday. I will be back certainly sometime Sunday with the forecast and a snowfall total map and things like that. And then I'll certainly be back on Monday. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to have a chance to get a forecast out. I got a bunch going on, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But basically, again, we are looking at a significant storm coming up early next week. So let's take a look quickly at those weekend highlights. Storm will brush southern Vermont with little light snow. That's tonight. Temperatures will be near normal. Light snow could make road conditions slick Saturday morning. Great ski weekend. Get out there and ski. It's really good. Looks like next weekend will be cold after the storm next week, so it looks like a couple of great mid-March ski weekends here. Best skiing we've had all winter, so if you can get it here and get a chance to get out and get some runs, then you should do that. A significant snowstorm is looking quite likely early next Monday afternoon through Tuesday. And when I say significant, I mean very significant. Okay. That's what's going on. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel before, I would encourage you to do so. Helps make sure you don't miss any of those videos as they come out. And also, if you are interested in helping support in a financial way what goes on here at the West River Weather Guy and getting some of the benefits that happen when you do that, you can follow the link in my description to my Patreon page, then there's a description there of what happens if you become a patron, or what you get if you become a patron, and how it helps support what I do. All right, thank you, and we'll see you at the latest sometime, probably early Sunday afternoon.